Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Wa radallahu an sahabati Rasulillahi ajma'een. My beloved brothers and sisters, once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the last session, we spoke about the importance of having a strong foundation, i.e. knowing our basics. And inshallah today we're going to continue that theme, but look at it from a slightly different perspective. And today we're going to speak about actions and intentions, because both are from the very foundations. Our actions that we do, i.e. our deeds, they have consequences in this life and in the next. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala time and time again in the Holy Quran reminds us of the importance of our actions and their consequences. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات, that give good news, give glad tidings to those آمنوا, those who believe, وعملوا الصالحات, and those who do good deeds, i.e. righteous deeds. And then the ayah continues, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us of the consequences of doing those good righteous actions. That أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارِ, that for them there is paradise and within it are rivers that flow. So in a nutshell, if we were to summarize, our actions, our deeds are our capital investment for the afterlife. Therefore, it's really important that when we do our deeds, when we do our actions, and we present them in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they are good, they are righteous, and they are inshallah accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how can we try to do this? We can try to do this by ensuring that the very foundation that that deed is built upon is good. That is the intention. We need to make our intention good and pure and make it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because we know that all deeds should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that any deed that is done for other than the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Yawmul Qiyamah will be thrown upon our faces. It will be rejected. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam says in the hadith that is very well known, and it is reported by Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu an, where he sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى, that actions are based on intentions, and a person will get whatever they intended for. Meaning that if our intention is good, then inshallah our actions will be good. And of course that goes without saying that that deed has to be in the realms of permissibility first. But a question comes to mind, that whenever we do something, whenever we intend to do deeds, we always say that I am doing this for the sake of Allah. We get married and we say that I want to get married because I want to follow the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah. We engage in business partnerships because we want to earn halal. We're saying we're doing it for the sake of Allah. We engage in da'wah projects with others because we want to serve the deen of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Why is it then that if we were doing it for the sake of Allah, then 6 months, 8 months down the line, those marriages start to collapse over the smallest of reasons? Those da'wah projects that we engaged in for the sake of Allah start to become projects of hatred and enmity, and we set up our own projects. Why is it then that those business partnerships that we engaged in with our friends and our colleagues become relationships of hatred? Were we doing it for the sake of Allah, or were we doing it for some other reason? And do we really understand what it means doing something for the sake of Allah? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was once educating his Sahaba. And this hadith is narrated by Imam Muslim. It's reported by Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu an, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was once telling a group of companions about a man. And that man undertook a long journey. And as you know, in those days, journeys were long, but not only long, they were dangerous journeys. So he took a journey by foot. And as he is traveling, halfway between his journey, an angel comes in the form of a man. And that angel stops him and he asks him, he says, "Where are you going?" And that man says that I am going to visit a brother of mine. And then he starts asking him further, because he wants to know what is his intention for going. Is he going for a personal motive, or is he going for a good cause? So the man replies, he says that I have no other intention, I am only going because a brother of mine is sick and I am going to visit him because I love him for the sake of Allah. And then that man, that angel in the form of a man replies and he says that I am a messenger from God and I have come to inform you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you just like you love your brother. Intentions, we have to question our intentions. The intention of that man was not that he was going because there was a business transaction that he had to settle, or he was not going because he had any personal interest, or he wanted a favor that needed returning in the future, so he was going to see him. No, he was going to visit him purely for the sake of Allah. And this is what doing things for the sake of Allah means, that you have absolutely no other interest whatsoever. You are only doing it for the sake of Allah. Now, one of our teachers, Sheikh Muhammad bin Yahya al-Ninawi, and inshallah I'll finish with this, he says a beautiful thing. He says that whenever you do something, always make the foundation of it the love of Allah, and then build on top of that. And this is beautiful, because when you do something for the sake of Allah, then no matter what happens, no matter what comes in between, it's easier to forgive people, because you're not doing it for a personal reason. It doesn't become personal. It's for the sake of Allah. And you know that the one you are doing it for, he knows. He is seeing everything, and even if you are being wronged, he will inshallah compensate you. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make me and you amongst those whose intentions are pure and whose actions are righteous. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our good and forgive our shortcomings. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive the whole ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Until next time, fi amanillah, wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.